what's up, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Today I'm going to be doing a real talk on, like, this topic that I've actually wanted to talk about for a while. And, you know, sometimes what happens is I'll get a video idea, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to say, and so I'm kind of like, I kind of like waiting until stories kind of like happen, and then because I always like talking to you guys about like personal things that have happened to me and my friends and stuff when I'm playing and things like that. So I had a really interesting thing. Yesterday was a very weird day and a very good day where I had a lot of my friends win stuff yesterday. I actually didn't participate in anything yesterday. I was being very lame, and my parents are like very weird about the snow, where like if they're like 1 inch of snow is gonna happen, it's like we're down south almost, and they're like, well, we can't do anything, and I'm like, guys, it's just, and they're like, no, Tracy, you can't do anything, and I'm like, alright, well, I don't think the snow's gonna be that bad. Regardless, I couldn't go to anything yesterday. It was fine. I was productive. I did a lot of things, whatever. So I didn't get the chance to go out, but a bunch of my friends went out to tournaments, and I love this. I love like when I have different friends at various tournaments and I can like text them and update them on their progress, because Magic to me is like so like friend oriented. Like when I went to GP Pittsburgh, I didn't do well at all. I did terribly that weekend. I was like so like on till. It was like really bad. It was just not good. So I was like, I had so much fun though because I was with friends. I had such a good time. I like got close to a bunch of people and I was just so friend oriented, and it was really cool. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, GP Pittsburgh. Yeah, so I had a lot of fun with that. And so like to me when I go places, like I go for Magic and I go to play and I go to win. I mean, like, that's such a weird phrase to me because I'm like, when I go to like a tournament, I'm not like, yes, I want to come in first place. Let's be real here. That'd be really awesome, and I would really like that. However, realistically, the chance of that happening or whatever, it depends on how big the tournament is and stuff like that. Like, when I get like a placing, like what I went to about a month ago, I got 3rd place at a GPT, which was amazing, and I was so stoked about that. And like, it was a deck that I was playing Blue-Eye Control, and I literally have never played that deck before. I picked that deck up and just played it. Like, I had not goldfished it. I did absolutely no preparation for this deck at all. The only preparation I had for that deck was actually just playing Magic for, like, 4 years, or however long I've been playing Magic for, and that was it. And, like, also getting into Control by, like, my main Modern deck is Grixis Control. So, like, that was the only preparation that I had. Never knew how to play the deck up to that point. I was just like, yep, let's do this. To me, I was like, so many people could be like, oh man, I'm like super bummed about that because I didn't get first place. To me, I'm like, whoa, this is sweet. And maybe this is just like a whole thing about I haven't gone to as many tournaments as a lot of other people. When they go to tournaments and they don't do well, they're like, oh man. One of my really good friends, Craig, is actually a pretty well-known Magic player in pretty much like in our area, and he's just so good at Magic. Like, this kid is amazing at Magic. He's particularly does Standard, but he also plays Modern, and he is like just one of the best Magic players like ever that I've just seen. He's so good at Magic, and he like he'll text me constantly on his progress, which is another thing that I love. I love when people text me on their progress, when they're all like, hey Tracy, I'm 1-0 or I'm 3-0, or I just love when people do that. I think that's so cool. So he was like, he'll text me like on his progress, and his weekends are pretty much full of just going to Modern tournaments, just going to Magic tournaments in general, IQs, PBTQs, whatever. So like he will text me, and whenever, like, he's been in this really weird spot where he's been like going to tournaments and just like doing well in terms of getting into the top 8. Like these past, like, I don't even know, like this past month, he's gone to like a tournament like every Saturday or every Sunday, and he's got into the top 8. I'm just like, why are you so good at Magic? And why am I so bad at Magic? You're just like so good at what you do. So like, yesterday he went to a tournament, he got to the semifinals, and I was all like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. And then he lost in the semifinals. So he's just like so close to winning. And like for a lot of people, that's like a huge deal. For a lot of people, they're like, whoa, like me, I'm all like, whoa, I got into the top 8. That's like really cool. And again, it's just me being like new at the whole, like, not like, I mean, like, I've been playing competitive Magic for like 9 months or something like that. I started in like June of like last year. So like, I don't know, I definitely think it's like a time thing. I think like a lot of people are like very like, oh wow, I want to play this tournament to win and to get first place. And there's so many things that go into that. There's so many factors that go into like winning and stuff. But so one thing that I think is really interesting though is how other people respond to their friends doing well. So like for example, yesterday, like I said, I didn't play in any tournaments, but my boyfriend John and our friend Tyler and a bunch of our friends went to this IQ. My friend Tyler got first place. I was really, really happy they went to an IQ. Really, really excited about that. And John didn't get into the top 8, but like our other 2 friends all did, so like they all got into top 8, whatever. So that was really awesome, and I was all like, yo, Tyler, this is really cool. So that happened, and then so Craig came in semifinals, and then one of my friends got first place at a, oh man, what is it? I want to say it may have been another IQ in a different area. I'm pretty sure it was an IQ. And he got first place in that, and that's like really, really cool. And so yesterday was a really weird day, and also my cousin who coaches basketball, this is so unrelated to Magic, but my cousin who coaches basketball, her team won like the national like whatever state championships. I have no idea. I don't know things about sports, so like I'm just like, yeah, this is really awesome. I have no idea what any of this means. Which is probably how my mom feels whenever I talk about Magic tournaments. I'm like, yeah, I got like 3rd place. She's like, I don't know what that means. I try explaining to her like what an IQ stands for and PPGQ. She just, it's okay. She doesn't have to understand. I'm just like, yeah, I did really well and I won money. Like whatever. That's it. So, yeah, so yesterday was like awesome. Like so many friends that I knew won things, and I was all like, this is really cool. And I think what's really interesting though is that line between being like jealous of your friends and the line between being supportive of your friends. Now let's be real here, we've probably all been in situations where we've gone to a tournament, or if you're like into casual Magic, where you've gone to like a pre-release or draft or like whatever, where your friends have done well and you haven't, and vice versa. And that's just something that honestly is just a part of the game. And when you're in the moment and you're full of, like, your whole body is actual salt and you're like, yo, this is awful, like that's just something that just like happens. And I totally wish, like, the advice of that could be so much better, because when you're really salty, it's so, when people are like, yo man, it's just variance, like that doesn't comfort you at the moment, because you're like, no, I want to do well in Magic. And, you know, that phrase being like on tilt basically, which like, I guess like simply I would define that as like, if I'm remembering the definition correctly, like you just kind of like, you're on tilt, you just like lose like a lot. And like, we've all been on like losing streaks. It all happens. Like, one thing that one of my friends said to me that really made me feel better in that moment is, he's like, do you know how many good players that I know that don't make it to day 2 of GPs? So many like popular names. Like, it's absolutely like impossible for, regardless of how good at Magic you are, for you to like constantly be winning. There's just like, there's so many, like I said, there's so many factors that go into that. A lot of it goes back to draws. A lot of it goes back to like how good is your matchup. Let's be real here. We've all had instances where we've had to like mull to like 4 or like 5, and you're like, yep, I'm just not gonna win. And then you don't win. And you're all like, well, you know, that it just happens. So variance is just like really, really big in the game, and how I kind of frame it whenever I like don't do well is I'm just like, oh, you know, I was like, it just wasn't a good day for Magic, or my hands were really bad, or oh, that's a bad matchup, or like my opponent just had all the answers. Sometimes it's like, those are all things that are like so reasonable, like justifying like why you didn't do well or like something like that. Those are all like very legitimate reasons. Sometimes you just misplay, and sometimes that just happens, and I'll be like one of the first people to be like, totally misplayed right there. Like, someone's like, hey, I don't think you should have done that, and I was like, you're absolutely right, I totally did misplay right there. And I'll be like, yeah, like calling out my own misplays to be like, yeah, acknowledge, like, yeah, I was wrong. One of the best examples I think that I can give about this topic, whatever on earth I'm talking about, variance and like friends and jealousy and stuff, is like, the first, can you stop beeping? I hear you, oven. Thank you. I set a timer. I'm making Oreo cake balls right now, and it's fine. I actually like remember what I'm talking about, which is really funny because normally I'm like, I don't remember where I left off on. So, the first ever competitive event that I went to, which you can actually like go back and watch these videos, they're really funny. It's when I didn't really know anything about competitive Magic, it's really funny. The first ever competitive Magic Modern tournament that I went to was a PPTQ, and it was actually one of the most surreal days of my life. I got into the top 8, it was like the weirdest thing ever. I was like, you can like watch it, and I like still think about it, because I'm like, wow, that was a weird day. Weird, really good. It was very surreal. And so like, I went to the tournament with my two really good friends, my friend Paul and my friend Justin, and we went to our local game store, we signed up, whatever, and Paul was kind of like, you know, he was like, whatever, he's like, if I don't do well, I don't do well, whatever, and then Justin and I were kind of like, I was like, I just want to survive, I just want to, like, cast cards and do things, and I don't even remember, like, how Justin was exactly feeling, but he was kind of like the same, because Justin and I actually got into competitive Magic around the same time, actually. Like, I was kind of like, hey, I want to get into competitive Magic, and he's like, huh, I'm gonna build Affinity, and so, like, we kind of got into it at the same time, which was really cool. And, like, I remember, like, that day, like, it was so weird, because, like, I was such, like a bundle of emotions for so many things. I was, like, nervous, but then I was also, like, overwhelmed, and I was also, like, excited, but I was also still, like, really, really nervous. So, like, it felt really weird, like, going, like, and talking to them because they weren't doing well, and I was. And I remember feeling really weird about it. And, like, I don't, you know, like, whenever, I feel like whenever I kind of, like, go to tell my friends, like, how I'm doing, I'll be like, yeah, man, I was, like, 3-1, and, like, can I tell you I did, like, the coolest thing? Like, the other night at Modern, I did one of, like, probably, like, seemingly one of the dumbest things you would probably ever say, and you probably could have said that I misplayed, but I would argue that I did not misplay. I ghost quartered my own ghost quarter to get a basic land because I needed colors. Let me tell you something, I ended up winning that game, and I ended up getting my colors and drawing well after that. Given it could have totally gone the reverse, but hey, I mean, that's just Magic, and that's just what happens. But, so when someone's like, how'd your game go? I'm like, I won, and I did this super awesome thing, and I always like telling it kind of like with a story. I don't like being like, oh, yeah, man, I'm like 4-0, and I'm like super awesome, and I'm so good at this game. Like, I don't know, I just like don't like doing that. I just don't like, I feel like that falls into the realm of like bragging and just, you know, like there's like ways to frame it in like the way that you say it, but I don't know, I'm just like not really big into that. But anyways, like that day was just so like surreal, and I felt very weird to talk about like how I was doing because I knew they weren't doing well, and I was all just like, yeah, like I'm 3-0 right now, like, you know, it's just like a really, really crazy time. But yeah, I don't know, like I think that I understand the whole jealousy thing, and I understand the whole, like, my friend is doing well, why aren't I doing well kind of thing, and but I also understand the reverse of being really, really happy with your friends. Like yesterday, given I would have loved to go to the IQ, and say I even went to the IQ and Tyler got first place still, I've been like, oh man, you got first place, and like, I remember going to this tournament, this was when I was playing Bloom Titan, actually. Oh man, that was back in like November or something. No, not November. When did I play that deck? I think I played it in like September, October, or something like that. And I remember like playing it, and like I went to this tournament with some people, and like when my friend got first place, and I was so, like, I felt so bad because I was so salty, because I was salty that, like, the problem with Bloom and, like, the reason why I took it apart was because, like, the deck is just inconsistent, and, like, it was just bad draws, like, that was just, like, the thing, and I did this thing where I was, like, really frustrated, and I was like, oh, I don't want to play this deck right now, and, like, whatever, but I was, like, I couldn't even really be, like, that supportive, because I was just, like, and then I, like, Facebook messaged afterward, I was like, man, I was like, I'm so sorry that I was actually, like, a jar of salt, and I was, like, was not supportive of your progress, and you got first place at this like IQ or whatever, and that was so awesome, and I'm really happy for you. It just like didn't come off. So I don't know, like I think it's definitely a thing about like the more you play and stuff, and like the type of person that you are, but I always try to maintain like a level head or whatever. I'm always just like, yeah, man, like, you lose, you win some, it's kind of like whatever, like, I understand the whole, like, and maybe I'm just saying that again because I haven't gotten to the point where I'm, like, always constantly grinding, like, Modern tournaments, but, like, I'm all just like, you know what, I don't know, because I've talked to plenty of people who have played for a while, and they're just like, you know what, it's variance, it happens, and what can you really do about it? Like, you know, looking at the situation, like, objectively and being like, alright, you know, it just happens. And again, that's just awful advice, but like, I definitely think that it's true. And it's probably cliche advice too, but I do think that it's very relevant. And it's just like, you know what? It's like, if you want to be salty about it, you can be salty about it. We've all been there. I've been there. Let's be real here. I can break my own advice plenty of times. Like, when I was playing, like, Modern a couple of nights ago, I, like, lost to Scape Shift, and I was supposed to have a really good Scape Shift matchup, and I was like, how did I lose? And, like, I was like, I kept thinking about it, and then John's like, Tracy, you went 3-1, and I was like, I know, but I lost to Scape Shift, and he's like, alright, well, you know, he didn't actually say that, but, like, you know, he wasn't like, oh, whatever, but, like, you know, it just, like, happens, so, yeah, I don't know. I'd say, like, definitely be, like, you know, try to be as, like, supportive as you can of your friends, because let's be real here, that if the reverse happened, how would your friend respond to that? You know, like, what would they do? Yeah, and it can definitely be hard in the moment. Absolutely, I totally agree. Like I said, you know, in the moment, a lot of times we do things, like, irrationally, but then when you look at it, like, take a step back, and you're like, oh man, I totally overreacted there. Am I still totally overreacting about losing Escape Shift? I mean, yeah, probably, but, you know, whatever, that's what it is. Alright, cool guys, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day tonight. Leave me comments below. Let me know what you guys think about the subject matter, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.